It is June 22nd, 2024, and you are listening to Sports Chowder with me, Sam Stebbins. Today I'm talking about, of course, the Boston Celtics' historic 18th championship, as well as some Patriots contract updates, a Red Sox update, and more. Stay tuned. On Monday night, the Celtics defeated Dallas 106-88. What a beautiful sight. Now, a lot of people deserve credit for this victory. I mean, so many players, so many coaches, so many trainers. But I think there are three people who deserve at least the initial layer of credit. That is Danny Ainge, our former general manager, who executed so many trades and contract signings over the past decade that really shaped this team. Then Brad Stevens, who was our coach in the mid to late 2010s, and is now our general manager, who has continued Danny Ainge's legacy of great trades and great contract signings. And of course, our current head coach, Joe Mazzulla. These three have done so much work with whatever they have, and it's built us into one of the best teams in the NBA. And this year, we were the best team. It really is amazing, and those guys deserve so much credit. Through the leadership of those guys, we've had so much success over the years. We've gotten so close to a championship recently, it's been difficult to lose. But our core team has been so young. I always knew the championship was coming. I just had to be patient. And on Monday night, it was our time. Really, this whole year was our year, and I think it's the start of something great. You know, what's really cool, despite the horrible Game 4 loss, it did allow us to win on June 17th, and that is my sister Lily's birthday, so a late happy birthday shout out to my sister Lily. And it also is the 16th anniversary of the Celtics' previous championship in 2008. And one final thing about June 17th, it lines up with the Boston area code, 617. That's really a cherry on top, but it's worth pointing out because, for my family, it's cool for multiple reasons. This season has been so satisfying, and I want to list off some cool stats and records about this team. The 2023-2024 Boston Celtics were the most efficient offense in NBA history. They made the second most three-pointers in NBA history. They had the second best defense of this season. They are the third team in the 21st century and the ninth team since the introduction of the modern playoff format in 1983-84 to lose 3 games or fewer during a championship run. They won the most games by 25 points or more in a season ever, with 19 wins by that margin, and they outscored their opponents by an average of 10.7 points per game, which is the 5th best in NBA history. Now, I list all those records and statistics because I think they're very cool. I think it's worth celebrating how great this team has been, but also to make a point about our opponents. A lot of Boston haters out there are arguing our path to this championship was easy. Our opponents were either much weaker than us or injury-plagued. Now, to that I say, look at all the records this team set, look at our dominance. We were the best team. We beat some great teams during the regular season, and I think that's enough to prove we're a strong team. We didn't get the best record in the association for no reason. But I also say this. Number one, the Lakers of the 80s had some pretty lopsided playoff matchups, and literally nobody is taking anything away from them because of that. Number two, even if the Celtics' playoff opponents were all healthy, Boston would still likely win. It might just take 1 or 2 more games. And three, we also lost a pretty significant starter for a good chunk of the playoffs in Kristaps Porzingis. In all honesty, the hate does not bother me that much. The fact is they would be unhappy no matter what if Boston won. And you know what? They can be hateful. They can dislike the Celtics as much as they want. nothing takes away from a championship. I'm not one of those people who took away from the Lakers' 2020 championship just because it was played in the COVID bubble. Championships take hard work, they take grit, they take determination, they take a winning mentality. So yes, a championship is a championship. I don't care what the anonymous social media users say. I don't care what the talking heads say. The Celtics won in 5 games. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving just couldn't handle Boston. And that is history, folks. That's that. Now let's focus on something more positive. Jaylen Brown was named the NBA Finals MVP. He averaged 20.8 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 5 assists per game, and had the unenviable task of guarding Luka Doncic. And our man Jason Tatum averaged 22.2 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 7.2 assists. Now, Brown was the more consistent player through this finals series, and I believe he deserved the MVP award. Tatum looked initially disappointed when Brown's name was called for the MVP, but he seemed to quickly get over it. Both Jaylen and Jason have praised each other so much, especially in the wake of this championship. I don't think there's any drama or rivalry happening. Jaylen Brown, in fact, in his MVP award acceptance speech, called Tatum his partner in crime. They know they need each other. They know this team would not be the same if one of them left. And I really appreciate that as a fan. It really means a lot to have them both. And again, I think people just like to stir up drama. There was talk when Steph Curry and Kevin Durant were both Golden State Warriors about if the team was still Steph's or if it was Kevin's. And it's all stupid. It's all just to try to take away from a team's championship. And honestly, I'm sure Jason Tatum will have his chance to be Finals MVP soon enough. To be honest, I think Derek White deserved some consideration for Finals MVP because of his chipped tooth. My word, that is quite the commitment to winning. And honestly, an iconic moment in Finals history. To wrap up this segment, I think this version of the Boston Celtics, led by Coach Mazzulla and General Manager Brad Stevens, is built to last. I think they'll be winning more championships together in the next few years. I think they have the right talent and the mindset to make things happen. I really think they'll have the same attitude as the Brady-Belichick Patriots. They will stay hungry. They will always want to prove themselves no matter how much success they've had. I mean, Coach Mazzulla said himself he's already thinking about winning a 19th championship for the Boston Celtics. So, that was before the parade even happened. That was before the Duck Boat Parade in Boston on Friday, he said that. So, it's all very Brady-Belichick, and I love it. And honestly, it's only upward from here. I feel like they've been waiting to break through and win a championship, Jason and Jaylen have been waiting to break through and win that championship, prove they can coexist together, prove they're not just hype, and they've finally done that. So, their motivation for 2024-2025 is to show everyone it was not a fluke. I think we can do it. If anyone can break this 6-season streak of a different team winning the championship every year, it's the Celtics. I know this championship is the start of something beautiful. Now for segment 1.2, I want to focus on my man Al Horford. I remember the excitement when the Celtics signed him back in 2016. He was a real leader and an all-star that we needed to provide some leadership for our ragtag team at that time. He has always been a contributor, and he embraced Boston from day one. Now, sadly, he did leave for the Philadelphia 76ers back in 2019, which was really unfortunate, but You have to keep in mind that was after Kyrie Irving's second and final season in Boston. The vibes were simply different at that point. And he said if he was following his heart, he would have stayed in Boston. But at that time, Philadelphia had the better shot at winning a championship. In the 2020 offseason, he was traded to Oklahoma City, and then the Celtics traded for him in the 2021 offseason. He's been a Celtic ever since. And now, after 17 years and 186 playoff games, Al Horford is an NBA champion. Those 186 playoff games played before winning a championship is indeed an NBA record. Al is also the first Dominican player to win an NBA championship. And he's coming back for more. Celtics owner and governor Wyc Grousbeck joined WEEI's Greg Hill show on Tuesday morning and said he's been told Al is returning next year. Of course, I am very happy to hear this. I love Al Horford. My sister Lily loves Al Horford. My mom loves Al Horford. Everybody loves Al Horford. I would completely understand if Al Horford decided to retire after this championship. But I think Al knows the one thing cooler than retiring a champion is retiring a reigning back-to-back champion. So please, let's make this happen for Al. Moving on to football, the New England Patriots and Ramondre Stevenson have reached a 4-year contract extension, worth up to $36 million, with $17 million guaranteed. Now, as I said last week, Ramondre Stevenson is my favorite current New England Patriot, and I'm glad this worked out. I hope he gets more time to shine in the coming years with the Patriots offense. I think he has a lot of potential. We've seen it the past few years, and I hope to see more of him. So that is some good news, in my opinion. Another signing the Patriots made this week was United Football League offensive lineman Liam Fernattle. Liam played college football at James Madison University, and for the past 2 years has played for the UFL's DC Defenders. I really think this is a dynamic signing. The offensive line is obviously crucial, and it's smart to look at the UFL and other leagues for under-the-radar talent. I think this reflects positively on Elliott Wolf. Shows me he's looking around, he's being creative, he knows it's about doing your job, as Bill Belichick would say. I don't care about who would be the flashiest signing or, who has the most Pro Bowl selections. Find someone who can do their job and do it well and sign them. So I'll be watching this guy. I hope he does well. I hope he proves himself, because it would be great to have this guy kind of come from a secondary league and actually be a solid performer. So I hope this turns out well. And now for a Red Sox update. Last weekend, the Red Sox won their series against the New York Yankees 2-1, and this week they swept the Toronto Blue Jays. I watched the Saturday night game against the Yankees, and I really enjoyed the parade of doubles hit by the Red Sox very much. Getting this series win against the Yankees is some positive momentum that the Sox really need. Besides being our biggest rival, obviously, the Yankees are the best team in baseball right now. So getting a series win against them shows this team has a lot of potential. Now, the Toronto Blue Jays are not as successful as the Yankees, but it's always good to sweep a team, especially a division rival. Wednesday night was especially great because starting pitcher Brayan Bello pitched 6 innings, allowing only 2 runs and 6 hits in a game that snapped his 3-start winless streak. And I think that's good, Brayan Bello has so much potential. I think he will be a big part of our future, and it's good for him to keep doing well. He needs to build up some early confidence in himself so that down the line he keeps doing better. So it's always good to see Bello succeed. I really think his future is bright. This weekend, the Red Sox have a 3-game series against the 35-39 Cincinnati Reds. I hope we can get another series win, keep this momentum going. I want this Red Sox team to prove to the fans, the media, and themselves that they are better than they think. Better than we think. So yeah, any sign of hope is a good thing. I'm going to stay positive because there are a lot of baseball games in a season, so there's a lot of time to course correct and maybe finish stronger than people expected. And now, Assorted Awesome, the part of the show where I talk about a story that is 100% awesome with no caveats. On Wednesday night, Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla did something really cool that showed me exactly the kind of guy he is. Now, there's been no doubt in my mind Coach Mazzulla is a good man. He is a Christian, he is a hard worker, people only have good things to say about him. But what he did on Wednesday night really showed that he cares about the fans in a very unique way. You know, a lot of coaches care about their fans, but Joe Mazzulla did something that showed me he goes above and beyond. You know, show me a coach who would do this in any sport, because I really can't think of an example. On Wednesday night, Joe Mazzulla took the NBA Finals trophy, the Larry O'Brien trophy, to Boston's North End, the historic Italian neighborhood, and he literally just walked it around from restaurant to restaurant, allowing fans to take pictures and touch the trophy. I don't know why he did this. You know, there's no report about why he did this, except that he's a really cool guy who cares about Boston and cares about Celtics fans. There are videos and pictures online. I encourage you to look them up if you have the time. I mean, imagine you're in the North End, either eating dinner there because you live in Boston or you're on vacation, and suddenly Joe Mazzulla is just walking down the street carrying the Larry O'Brien trophy. It would be equally awesome and surreal. Cheers to you, Coach Mazzulla. You are already a Celtics legend. Please never leave our team. That is about all I have for this episode of Sports Chowder. You can find me on X at Stebbins Tweets. You can find the show at sports_chowder. You can find the show on Instagram at Sports Chowder. And you can like the show on Facebook. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate all of your support. I will return next week with another heaping bowl of Sports Chowder, the show that discusses, celebrates, and/or laments the state of Boston sports. See you next week.